open your book to page 501. Today's lesson is to solve incomplete quadratic equations. So quadratic equation means you have the x squared term. Now incomplete means you're either missing the b or the c. So for example, let's look at examples of incomplete. So example 1a, you have 12x squared plus 5 equal to 0. So this one is missing the b, right? And for part b, you have 7x squared minus 2x equal to 0. This one is missing the c. Okay. And for part c, you have 3x squared equal to 0. So this one is missing b and the c. So these are called incomplete quadratic equations. Remember, quadratic equations has like ABC, right? 3 parts. Okay, so this is incomplete. This one is missing the x squared, the x term. So this is missing the b. This one is missing a number. So this is missing a c. This one is missing both. Okay. Now, so let's go over how to solve some of these. So let's go to example 2. Again, all these are review. We did all this before. Okay. So you want to solve 12x squared equal to 3x. So because of the x squared, you need to make it equal to 0. So you can do factoring. So minus 3x. So you got 12x squared minus 3x equal to 0. Then you do the factoring. If it's an equation, you actually can divide by 3 to lower your number. But that's going to factor out the 3x. So you got 4x minus 1 equal to 0. So from here, you're going to get x equal to 0. From here, you're going to get 4x minus 1 equal to 0. Right? You can always review, right? Just regular solving. So you got 4x equal to 1, and you divide by 4, divide by 4. So x equal to 1 over 4. So that's your 2 answers, right? So just review. Now you have to be careful. Okay, go to page 502. It gives you a warning. Look at the word of caution. So you got 12x squared equal to 3x. So this is what sometimes people will do. They will divide by 3x, divide by 3x. So this cancels out. Okay, so you got 4x equal to 1. And then you divide by 4, so x equal to 1/4. Now the problem is that you're missing an answer over here. Okay, so whenever you divide the variable, you're gonna lose answers. So don't divide by variable. So you need to go and do it this way. Go and make equal to 0, do factoring, and you solve answers. Okay. So again, if you divide by variable, you're gonna lose answers. So you're gonna missing an answer over here. So don't do that. So just a word of caution. Okay, let's go to example 3. So you have 2 over 3 x is equal to 3x squared. Okay, so this one has fractions. So first thing you want to do is go and multiply by LCD. Oh, it's a 5. Multiply by LCD to get rid of the fraction. So multiply by 5, multiply by 5. So this cancels out. Okay, so you're going to get 2x is equal to 15x squared. Again, don't divide by x because you're going to lose your answer. So minus 2x to make it equal to 0. So you can do the factoring. Then from here, you can factor the x. Right, step 1, common factor, right? And then from here, you're going to get, from this part, you're going to get x equal to 0. From this part, you're going to get 15x minus 2 equal to 0. But you have to set it equal to 0, right? And then plus 2, again, regular solving. We did this many times already. So I'm going kind of fast. So divide by 15. So x equal to 2 over 15. Okay, and that's it. So again, we did all this before. Now, the next one, let's go to example 4. So this is when you're missing the c, the c number, the c coefficient. Now let's go to example 4. This is missing the b. So you got x squared minus 4 equal to 0. So in this case, there are 2 ways you can do this. Okay, one way is by doing factoring. So I'm going to do both methods. So this one you can do the factoring, right? Step 1 cannot. Step 2, yeah, break into conjugate, right? So from here, you're going to get x equal to -2. From here, you're going to get x equal to 2, right? Now, you don't have to draw the arrows, okay? I'm drawing the arrows so you can follow what I'm doing, and that's it. Now, another method you can do this is, if there's no b term, then that's a perfect square over here. So what you do is +4 on both sides. So you get x squared equal to 4. And then after that, to undo the square, you take the square root. So take the square root. And when you take the square root of a variable, okay, again, you take the square root on both sides. But when you take the square root of a variable, you need to have a plus or minus on the other side. So this is the key over here. So you need to remember that. So when you take the square root of a variable, you need to put plus or minus on the other side. So again, the reason you take the square root is to undo the square. So you're going to get x equal to plus or minus 2. And that's the same answer, right? This means this is two answers, right? Plus or minus 2. Okay. So this is the square root method. So you can do it either way. Okay, now let's go to example 5. So you got 4x squared minus 9 equal to 0. So again, you can do two methods if it's factorable, but this one is a little bit messy when you're doing the. So I'm gonna use this method. So I'm gonna plus 9 on both sides. So again, when you have a perfect square, when you don't have middle term, then it's probably a little bit quicker if you do it this way. And then after that, so what you want to do is divide by 4. You want to get rid of the number, right? Divide by 4. So you got x squared equal to 9 over 4. And then I'm going to take the square root. So take the square root. So x equal to plus or minus 3 over 2. And that's it. So square root method is pretty quick. Okay. Okay, let's go to example 6. So again, whenever you have perfect square, you want to use the square root method. So you got 3x squared minus 5 equal to 0. The reason you need to use the square root method is because like this one, you cannot do factoring. So factoring is kind of nice because it's fairly quick, right? But see what happens is not every problem is factorable. So you need to know more than just factoring technique, okay? So this one is not factorable, so you cannot use factoring method. So you have to use something else. So you have to use a square root method. So plus 5 on both sides. And then divide by 3. Again, square root method means you need to get perfect square on this side. So you get x squared equal to 5 over 3. Then to undo the square, I need to take the square root. So take the square root on every part. And remember, when you take the square root of a variable, you need to put plus or minus on the other side. This is the most frequent problem, okay? The most often, this is a mistake that most people make, okay? Because they forget about the plus or minus. So again, square root and square cancel out, so you got x equal to. And this one, notice you don't want to have a square root on the bottom, right? So I'm going to multiply by square root of 3, right? So again, all these things you know from before. So you're going to get plus or minus square root of 15 over 3. And that's it. Okay, let's go to example 7. You have x squared plus 25 equal to 0. So minus 25 on both sides. So you got x squared equal to negative 25. And then when you take the square root, now you have a problem over here, right? You have a negative inside the square root. So right now you don't know how to do this yet, what the answer would be, but right now you just write down non-real. When you get to algebra 2, you're going to learn what to do with these. But right now you're in algebra 1, so just write down non-real and that's it. Okay. Again, so when you have the negative inside the square root, the answer is non-real. Okay. Okay, let's go to example 8. You have the x plus 3 squared equal to 7. Now, don't multiply this out because this is already a perfect square already. Right? See over here, this is already a perfect square. So if you see the perfect square already, don't mess it up. Just go and use the square root method to undo the square, right? So take the square root, and remember plus or minus, right? Because you have variable inside. So the reason you take the square root is to cancel out the square. So you got x plus 3 equal to plus or minus square root of 7. So now you have to get rid of that, right? Remember you're solving for x, so you have to get rid of the 3. So minus 3 on both sides. You always put a plus or minus on the back. Never ever put it in the front. Okay, so this always go to the back. So you got x equal to negative 3 plus or minus square root of 7. And that's it. Now this one you cannot simplify, so just leave it alone. Don't separate them. Okay, don't separate these. Just leave it like that. Now if this one you can simplify into, like, for example, if it's like a square root of 4. In that case, then you have to simplify this part. Okay? And so that's it. Okay, so let's go and do some practice.